If you asked the average, everyday career person what their biggest at-work mishap was, you'd expect them to mention something like getting caught texting or accidentally breaking the printer. You definitely wouldn't be expecting to hear things like kidney stones or a broken neck. But for these gymnasts, those are their at-work realities. From life-altering injuries to being heavily embroiled in political controversies. Here are some gymnastic incidents that ruined gymnasts' careers, beginning with the young woman who is perhaps the most well-known gymnast of her own generation, if not every generation, the one and only Miss Simone Biles. Simone Biles is America's most accomplished gymnast of all time, and that's a fact. With over 24 Olympic and World Championship titles, Simone is pretty dang good at her job, especially considering she was at the peak of her career before she could legally buy a beer. In 2013, after having already wowed the gymnast circuit at multiple competitions, Simone Biles made history at the World Championships. She wowed the entire world by becoming the first African-American woman to win gold in the all-around, and she managed to do this at the ripe old age of 16 years old. Biles continued to impress her fans worldwide, consistently raking in accolades, titles, and medals. But things haven't been easy for Simone in her career. In 2018, she suffered a kidney stone during the World Championships in Qatar. Despite the fact Simone spent Friday in the emergency room, she competed Saturday and helped the U.S. women's gymnastics bring home gold from the World Championships. She managed to do all of this without having passed the kidney stone. So, definitely not the best day at work, but not the worst either. Simone's incidents didn't end with kidney stones, however. At the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, Biles shocked the world with headlines for withdrawing from several events, a decision she made due to her mental health concerns. And while some Biles fans praised her for prioritizing her well-being and bringing awareness to mental health issues, others criticized her for not only letting down her team, but also her country. That is a common theme in the peaks and valleys of a gymnast's career, being held responsible to a duty for their country and not a duty to themselves. The same can be said for Yelena Mukhina, a Soviet gymnast who won the 1978 World Championships at just 17 years old. Despite being only 17, not even an adult, Yelena was originally considered by the Soviets as too old to be able to acquire the medals they desired. Yelena proved them wrong in 1978, with a performance that, to this day, is still considered one of the most outstanding gymnastic performances. After this huge success, Yelena was brought into the fold, never to escape. After being pushed to her limits with training, Yelena suffered from a broken leg. Rather than being given the proper time and space to recover, Yelena's recovery was not given the care it should have been. Against Yelena's repeated wishes, her leg cast was removed prematurely, twice. Her doctors and coaches colluded. Their negligence ultimately resulted in Yelena's career-breaking incident. Tragically, during training for the 1980 Olympics, only a month after her 20th birthday, Yelena was forced to attempt the Thomas Salto, an incredibly dangerous move, one that Yelena urged her coach to reconsider, one that left Yelena paralyzed from the waist down. And despite undergoing multiple surgeries, Yelena remained paralyzed for the rest of her life, passing away in 2006 at the age of 46. While injury is the most common incident that befalls a gymnast's career, gymnasts are oftentimes subject to political scandals as well. Nadia Comaneci, a Romanian gymnast, was the first gymnast to score a perfect 10 at the 1976 Olympics. Nadia went on to win 3 gold medals at that same event in Montreal. This outstanding and record-setting performance firmly cemented Nadia as one to watch. At the 1978 World Championships, after Nadia went under normal bodily changes for a woman, gaining both height and weight, she failed to secure any titles. In fact, this was the event where Yelena Mukhina cemented herself as a rising star. Nadia's loss to Yelena was a huge blow for Romania, even more so for Nadia, who had made an attempt on her life during training for the World Championships. From that point forward, every competition Nadia competed in was marred by political strife. At the time of Nadia's career, Romania was communist. With the growing dissatisfaction between Russia and the USA, Romania had to play their cards carefully. Despite the constant watch of her home country, in 1981, Nadia's coaches defected. This caused a ripple effect that drastically changed the way Nadia lived her life. Under constant supervision and under a strict no traveling rule, Nadia's life was no longer her own. In 1989, 5 years after Nadia retired, Nadia defected with a group of fellow Romanians traveling on foot in the middle of the night. This resulted in Nadia being banned from her home. It wasn't until 1996, after the communist regime in Romania fell, Nadia was able to return home, and this time as a hero to her country. Nadia's harrowing experience in gymnastics is just one of the many that serve as a cautionary tale to aspiring gymnasts. The 21st century's generation of rising gymnasts, despite all the horror stories they've been told and have read about, continue to work diligently at their craft, showcasing both talent and passion, in the hopes that doing so will set a better example for the younger gymnasts to come. But despite the desire to set examples and change the industry, many of the most talented young gymnasts today still face career-ending hurdles. Michaela Maroney is one of them. Maroney is an American gymnast known for winning the silver medal in the vault at the 2012 Olympics. It wasn't Michaela's performance that got her the most attention, though. She gained massive exposure online for her facial expression during the medal ceremony. The meme went viral and became known as the not impressed face. But despite all the success and attention Michaela received in her short-lived career, in 2016, Michaela made the decision to retire. The decision was made partially due to the trauma Michaela's body underwent during training. "I had a fractured shin, a shattered and dislocated sesamoid bone, and my nose was still broken from my concussion the month prior," Michaela stated. It wasn't just the physical costs that took a toll on Michaela, though. "I was never informed about the costs and wish I would have known some of them. For example, it would take me 5 full years to mentally and physically heal." Michaela Maroney is not alone in her struggles. A group known as the Fierce Five, the team of 5 American gymnasts, won the USA the first gold medal on international soil during the 2012 Summer Olympics in London. The team consisted of Michaela Maroney, Gabby Douglas, Allie Reisman, Kayla Ross, and Jordan Weber. During the time of this historic win, all members were between the ages of 15 and 18. Aside from making history, the ties that bind these young women, and the ones that ultimately halted their careers, were quite nefarious. During what was known as the unveiling of the biggest sex abuse scandal in history, all members of the Fierce Five came out with allegations against their former doctor, Larry Nassar. In a trial that rocked the sports world, 150 women gave statements detailing the abuse they suffered at Larry Nassar's hand. These incidents resulted in the corruption and even total dissolution of many young gymnasts' careers. Some believe that this level of depravity and abuse would only be viable in a sport like gymnastics, where young women are pushed to the brink time and time again, often having their careers ended prematurely or even their lives. Despite the incidents that ultimately ended the careers of many young women, these former gymnasts went on to become and do great things. From authoring books to becoming mentors to the next generation of gymnasts, these women prove that there's a life to lead after the medals stop coming in. From injuries to political controversies to global news-level scandals, these gymnasts have truly faced it all. But in the face of adversity, some have been able to overcome these setbacks and continue their careers, while others have either had to retire or face public scrutiny. Despite the turbulence, these gymnasts have left their mark on the sport and will always be remembered for their incredible talent, passion, and unwavering perseverance. So, while some careers aren't meant for everybody, these were some of the gymnastic incidents that ruined gymnasts' careers.